See, we got some minutes from the previous meeting. I had a chance to look them over, they're okay.
I have any comments either?
Second.
Make a motion to approve?
Got a motion to approve and we got a second.
John?
Yes.
Mike? Yes. PJ?
Yes. Let's see, Chief's not in tonight.
Yes, he called me, he's not feeling well.
Okay, well, that's going around too. So we'll go to some trustee reports then, and we'll start with John Eberle.
Couple of things, road-wise, we got the culvert fixed on Bartholomew, went super smooth, had to close the road to do that. And, we're closed from about 9 until 2. Pretty good job, that was a 24-incher, it was pretty good. The guys just slapped it in. As far as RDRs, we're down to 0. There's one culvert to replace. I don't think we're gonna get it this year, but we may. There's a remote possibility, but we're working right now, getting trucks ready for winter. And it's not, the residence culvert really isn't that bad, so Emmerich's gonna talk with them that most likely we'll catch it in springtime. But if you noticed, we didn't really buy that much asphalt when you subtract out the cemetery. And we did I don't know, 9 or 10 tons on Barth 2 where we grader, you know, that was done probably, I don't know, 15, 16 years ago. It was just a mess when we did it then. We did concrete stabilize it, it did it. You know, you get enough stabilization over there. But the road is in general good shape right there, and so we grader smeared a lot of the longer, small alligator spots. They should be good for a couple of years. Emmerich and I also spent quite a bit of time. We went around and started reviewing upcoming road projects. The biggest one being Stafford by PJ's house. Well, not by his house, but the old farm. And this is a big project, you guys. Big project. As we've got some issue 1. We applied for issue 1. We're looking at almost $900,000 to fix this section of road. And I guess, we've been putting it off and putting it off. We'd probably get more complaints about that and high school letters about that, but the road is off center by 10 feet. And to complicate matters, and I'll take PJ down a little memory. Remember when we filled that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, guess what?
It's probably not where it's supposed to be.
You're exactly right.
Did a good job though, it made a difference.
It made a huge
Yeah.
difference, but it's only off by 10 feet.
Yeah.
So therein lies this problem that if
It's
you go
the
to
roads-
Wally's,
The
yeah,
road's moved, it's north.
North,
where it
way
should be.
north.
Yeah.
if you go to Wally's old house, those swings he has out there and everything, those would all be gone. So we're gonna have to have some discussions when we get down to Mr. Atall's house is. There's probably 15 feet of the front yard where he's got that all immaculately planted, that's all road right away. So, some spots that road's only maybe 17 and a half feet wide.
Going down the hill.
So we're gonna need to have at least a 22-foot shelf. The engineers they're gonna insist that you have that, then you need a berm. And then, I'm trying to think of the guy, Mr. Bay's house. The road does this, and at his house, I hope I'm thinking right, I think we have to go, the road is south, it needs to go north, but there's a lot of trees that are gonna have to come down to have the shelf that we need, have ditching, and, so it's gonna be a large project. Emmerich and I, we're gonna meet with Shane, and we gotta get the surveyor stakes out here so people can see, you know, where is what.
Yeah, let me just throw in another comment on that is, there's a really bad culvert on 44 right there too. You move that road north, you're right on top of that, and you drive it, John. There's 3 or 4 bad culverts, that's one of them on 44. It's, there's no head wall, it's all chipped off there. There's a,
I'm trying to think which one. Is
just
it real
north,
close?
just north of Stafford on the west side. There's.
But it's on 44.
It's on 44.
Oh, well, that's a state.
I know, but if we move that road north, you're right on top.
Oh, no, the road is north right at the corner.
So it'd be moving south.
It'd be going south 10 feet. And we're trying to see, now interesting.
If you look at it, when
at the
people make
corner,
a,
we
you
have
take a
the-
right turn on southbound 44, you make a right turn on Stafford.
Yeah.
It's a hazard right now.
Yeah.
With where that culvert is. It's too
Well,
narrow.
we'll need to call the state
Yeah,
and say,
it's
get
too
out
narrow.
there. They, I can't touch that. But, as you know, well, PJ, on your field there, what did they do? Do you know what he's doing down there?
I have
No?
no idea. I still own a good chunk of that yet. So.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Well, just east of that corner piece that these daughter got,
Mhm. Just east,
the
okay.
road, it's really a kind of a mess there. They're kind of going out in the road and everything, and the culverts are, the ditches, there's no ditches anymore. But
And
the
that
road
field- that
there
field
needs to
driveway
go
there?
south.
That field driveway, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that needs to go south. Yeah, you go there, and there's like a piece of equipment that was sitting right in there on the other side of that driveway. So anyway, this is gonna be at Petzock, obviously.
It's narrow.
If you look and see where the road right of way is, it's probably can't be more than 15 feet from the front of the building, if that. So clearly, and that's a hill, there's some dirt that has to be moved.
Poles on the south side are deep in that thicket, you can't even see them. I mean, there's brush, there's 5 feet of
So-
brush in front of them.
Once we get this thing solved, I mean, it's gonna be a major upgrade there, because that's a very heavily traveled section of road.
Had been one of the softer, wasn't Shaw Road level soft, but at the bottom there near Messenger that actually used to be a pretty bad stretch. Hasn't broken up now for
No.
a few years, but
No.
that used to be.
And it looks like that lady at the corner of Messenger on the south side there, Messenger and Stafford, they don't live there anymore, huh?
That was Ron Losick and Margaret.
There's houses for rent.
And then there was a rental.
Yeah, there's a rental in there.
To
The
the-
place
to
is
the
starting to
east.
look pretty overgrown. When you get there, the road right away can't be 6 feet from the house.
Have they ever done any roads where they take the location of the existing road and just widen it there as opposed to
Well,
shifting everything over into somebody's living room?
yeah, most of the time we've done that, but the problem that we're facing, Mike, is that you have to go to like the road right away, okay? And say we're working up from the north to the south. Well, you have to go to the road right away, and then you need to start adding up these numbers to get, and then have a shelf. You need a berm, you need a ditch, a berm, and then you need 12 feet of road, and then you gotta keep going that way. Well, the road's only 17 feet wide in some spots, so you don't have, if the road was clearly on center, you could do that, but the road's not even anywhere near on center, so.
I get his point, and you're right, let's get it staked and see
That's what we have
what's
to do.
possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta do that. So we spent quite a bit of time, we spent a good good hour and, going up and down, going slowly down the road and, investigating all the trees that have to go and whatnot, but, it's gonna be a big project.
They've had no problem paving,
Yeah,
I don't know, Washington Street here for years, and now all of a sudden they said, hey, you know what, it's gotta move 4 feet.
let me explain the thinking of why you would want to do what they wanna do on Washington Street. First of all, the drainage does not work. So if you've ever driven up these hills, when it's raining hard, you'll notice there's 4 inches of water on the road, so they gotta stop that. By getting rid of those curbs and putting a conventional ditch, you handle way, way, way more water, and B, it doesn't plug up. So that's the first thinking that they're doing. The second thinking is this: they're gonna narrow the road for really only one reason. The reason being, if you narrow the road by 30%, that's 30% less asphalt. That's 30%, next time you go to pave it, it's 30% less asphalt. It's 30% less snow to plow, 30% less salt to put down. That's the thinking.
Financial justification anyway.
And then also, the road currently is built to US standards, and they're gonna be taking it down to county standards. So that would be that. But we're gonna have to have a road up there, I'm thinking, that might, and I don't think we really care, do we? Do you care if there's
Let's
a
get the
little
stakes
up
in
and
there
down?
and see, let's get the stakes in there and see what's what
Once you
there.
put the stakes in, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're gonna, well, you.
Any of the residents that have a problem with the location of the stakes, I'm sure will let us know.
I'm sure they will. Sure they
They're
will.
not bad.
There's gonna
Yeah.
be something.
So anyway, we've been the guys have been pretty busy. I also wanna comment that, the movie people, they came and left and not left even one gum wrapper. And that was very, very gratifying. So.
Just as a brief aside, it's water over the dam now, but I offered some property before we started moving that on the west side of the road to the county to see if they could line the 2 Staffords up. And Shane worked on it. And there wasn't enough there to do 2 sweeping turns, which surprised me, but.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, Shane worked on it. He spent some time on it. Of course, this is, the county did this at Caves,
Mm-hmm.
and someplace else they did it too. I can't remember where they took misaligned roads and lined them up. And yeah, that was a couple, 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Well, Emmerich and I are gonna have a sit down with them here soon. We did get our road ratings all completed. We're running 93% acceptable surface.
Is that a new record?
I think for a little bunch like us, that's not too shabby. So, the loader, as we speak, is, it's being built over in London. It's not in London, but in England. So it's in the schedule and it should be on time for December. So I think that's the only thing we have going.
Yeah, we were talking about Stafford, and I know it's the further east and actually out of the township, but you know how, remember Troy paved that?
What do they think?
They chipped it now.
I know, what are they thinking?
I don't know, I noticed that, what the hell did they do here? Yeah.
We did go, I should tell you, if you haven't got a chance to go over to, Snow, major improvement. They got that big box culvert in, the guy did a pretty nice job of getting those in. And, so next year, we're scheduled to, put that, sharing layer with, Troy up there. We've got that in the budget there, so. But, the culverts are all in, and, we'll do a little cleanup work on ditches next year, and, Troy still never cut any of the trees on their side, so, I just kinda like.
And that goes back a couple of years now, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, BJ. So, if you want to see them, you may, mentioned to Ken, I don't really think he's gonna address those, because I think he's on his, he's out, isn't he?
Yeah.
He didn't run again. He was moving to Bourbon last I heard.
Okay, that's, I'll yield anytime.
The only thing I wanted to mention, and this is going to old business, we had applied for the NOPEC Energy Community Grant for $11,646 for the LED lighting upgrade at the fire station, and we got notification today that we have received that grant. So I had a budget meeting with the fire department last week. They're gonna try to extend $2,000 to $4,000 additional toward that, so we'll get, probably concentrate on the community areas, cooking, day room, offices, where it's used a lot. But we think we can see a significant savings on that, since we're looking at 24/7 occupancy on that building, so.
Yeah.
So that was good news. And that was all I had to mention.
Okay, NatureWorks grant is on there for old business, and it's still old business because nothing's been announced as far as an award yet. It's due imminently. We've been keeping up with that through Watershed Partners, who assisted us in the application. Let's see, the Adam Hall and the electrical quotes and some of the other things we were looking at. Had a meeting with Jim Dixon the other day. We're just gonna do a planned monitoring of the icicles and the things like that. You know, we're talking about going with heavier heating cables on the roof and gutters. And I was always under the impression that is masking the problem. That might work to get you by, but it doesn't fix the problem. So what we're gonna do, and we already worked out a schedule, is we're gonna go buy the same residential grade 110 heating cables and then install them as we had them before. A couple of them are burned out now, but they've been there. I think we came up with 6-7 years now for most of those, so that's actually fairly good life. And then we're gonna plug them in first snowfall, probably leave them on until first of the year. And we're gonna unplug them 2 weeks, no matter what happens, and just see what happens. Probably we'll go 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off once we get to dead of winter, just to, because we did approach Hummel last year about some of the ice problems we had in the valley between the new addition to the west and the main building. And he mentioned, Eric Hummel, it wasn't Eric, it was Marty, mentioned that there could potentially be a design problem there. We're just gonna monitor. We're kind of going back to old school like we did with John G. Johnson at the start, when I had a thermometer hanging up in the rafters, and we just documented what the temperature up there was versus what it was outside. There's a pocket of air that's not moving, it should be moving, but that's what's causing this ice in certain spots. We're just gonna watch it real closely. We're gonna take tons of pictures. Hummel's been made aware of what we're gonna do, and we gotta solve this rather than trying to patch it all the time. I think we've gained, and I know we've gained a lot from 4 or 5 years ago when we had all the problems in the initial building. We found several issues between the rehab of the old structure and the addition of the new structure. There were ducts that were filled with insulation, and the insulation wasn't removed when they were connected. Return tubes and things like that were plugged. So we got a lot of this fixed, but we're gonna stay at it, and we're just gonna do it by design this year. So, but we were also talking about some other things, maybe some potential security things and outdoor electrical use that maybe we're a little short on outdoor fixtures. And this has been on the agenda. Nancy had quite a spreadsheet going, I think, with 4 or 5 different contractors. CMall Electric was the lowest, and they held their quote, and I'm gonna make a motion, we go with CMall Electric to do that work. Let's see, 120 volt outlets, install conduit, circuit wiring, GFIs, and looks like 5 different spots there. And that total was $1,735. I'll make a motion to go with that.
I'll second. John?
Yes.
Mike? Yes. PJ?
Yes. I see these 2 letters that just came here since last Friday about obviously from government students. One young lady is asking for, the potential of more sidewalks and things like that.
She wants to move them?
I don't know, yeah, she kinda, places like downtown Chagrin Falls, Hiram, and Manaway, which those are all villages, and they're kind of developed quite differently than Auburn, but I give her credit for coming up with an idea. But the other kid, I've been reading this one, you don't see this very often, but he cites some statistics and some conditions on East Washington Street.
Yeah.
And a University of Texas study.
Yeah.
And he says, we need to increase the speed limit on that road.
Isn't that
You
odd?
don't hear that
Because there
very
is no
often.
speed limit.
You don't hear that very often.
It's a
I give that
maximum.
kid some credit for some original thought. He did some work too.
Oh, golly.
Now, of course, as we were just talking about 15 minutes ago, we're gonna narrow that road now, so I'll probably have to lower the speed limit then, but anyway. Congratulations to that young man.
Yeah, he
Thinking
did
outside
some
the
work.
box.
He actually did some work. I read, I got a chuckle out
I
of it,
did
but
too.
he did some work.
What you got, Fred?
All right, got your regular reports in front of you, including your appropriation summary, your fund summary report, and your revenue summary report. Also, payment listing report, showing the warrants that are in front of you for your signature is warrants 5/4/25 through 5/4/71, and those are totaling $11,940.14. I have a resolution, possibly 2 resolutions. First resolution is for supplemental appropriations. That's resolution 2019-27. I'll go ahead and read this into the record. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio, that the following supplemental appropriations are necessary. $2,500 to the general fund account, $1,690,351 to pay for electricity. That would be for the administration building, the museum, and town hall. And second supplemental appropriation asked for is $1,200 to general fund account, $1,110,230 for workers' compensation premiums, and that would be for those employees in the administrative department. And that is the resolution.
That's a single resolution.
Yes, 2019-27.
Motion to adopt.
Second. Okay. John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
EJ?
Yes.
Second thing I have is, I put a draft resolution in front of you. We don't have to adopt this tonight, but it's for your consideration. Otarma is now offering, they've made it, the state has made it effective under ORC 2744.081, that as long as we have a risk pool established that we're a member of, we can apply for and we can get
we can get insurance that would cover us in lieu of getting individual bonds for our employees. So
Yes,
that would,
savings, yeah.
you know, that would save us, you know, the hassle of having to go and get the bonds signed by the judges and all the other stuff that we have to go through. And we wouldn't have to keep track of individual bonds for employees, so, they do require that we would pass a resolution, and we would fill out an application and submit that to them. We would just need to do that before the first of next year, to make sure that everybody's covered.
Okay, so we got some time on this, but you did
Yeah,
mention this.
but you can, go ahead and take a look at this, and, maybe we could put it on the agenda at the next meeting.
Why don't we send it out to the prosecutor's office in the
Yeah.
interim too?
Okay. So that's,
But
That'd be
from here, it sounds good.
a nice perk.
Yeah.
yeah,
that
I
sounds good.
think it would be, you know, well worth whatever it is. They don't even, I don't even know what if there's gonna be an additional premium. I don't even know if there would be one. So that's all I've got.
What about this thing for, are you gonna,
Yeah, we're gonna go down the agenda here. We got a maintenance agreement for that, generator at the fire station.
And the road garage.
Yeah. I have it in here.
do you split that, Fred, between them?
That's
Can you?
actually, on the agenda, it says it's for both, but it's only for the road garage.
They're both due exactly at the same time, I think, Fred.
Yeah, I'm just seeing on here, the only location they have here is for the service garage though.
Okay.
They don't mention fire here.
We probably need to get a hold of, mention that to John, because I know they usually did them on the same days.
Right.
Are we running them out of a different budget where they have two
Well,
separate?
the fire department pays for their
Yeah, they
review.
are.
But we
two
should have
separate
done
budgets.
some, because I'm sure that saves some money on just
Sure.
on mobilizing.
We'll coordinate and have them check their contract, because I'm sure they do, you're right, do them both at the same time, because
So what do you want then, Fred? Can we, I think obviously we'd like to have, they're both almost the same age too, aren't they?
No, ours is, the garage is what is the
the garage
original
has the old
one
fire
from the,
department one.
from the fire department.
But you're right, because we took the one over to the garage, at that same time we got the new one at the fire department.
Well, why don't, I don't think they need to have this back right away. And what I can do is contact them and, find out what they have for the agreement with the fire department.
Yeah, just ask them to
And
service date on that.
I'd like to put them on the same schedule.
Right.
Okay. Let's go back to some issue 2, issue 1, paperwork, and we were discussing Stafford Road, and we have an application in for that, for funding there through that program. We need to designate a member of the board to be chief executive officer and certifying representative to apply for these funds. So I will make a motion, this will be resolution 2019-26, to adopt a resolution naming John Eberly as CEO and certifying representative for this program, Ohio Public Works Commission,
I will second.
for the Stafford Road project.
John,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
BJ?
Yes. Do you have the original?
Yes. Signed it.
Yeah, we do. And so do you. All right, I can It's just at the bottom of the agenda, comment? Yeah.
Yeah, just two interesting warrants, 5467, 5469. iWork system, iWork, did I get that right?
Yeah, that's for the zoning software, that's the annual subscription rate.
Okay, so, oh, all right, so it's a software program.
Correct.
Okay, and this is the registration fee.
Correct.
Okay, and then 5469 First Century Media.
Yeah, 21st Century Media, that's News Herald. They're owned by 21st Century Media, so that's for a
Okay, so
legal matter.
that's just illegal.
Correct.
Okay, all right, cool. All right.
Anyone else?
Just start out with the bulky stuff first.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'll be looking for a motion.
Motion of all motions.
Second.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
BJ?
Yes.
8:02.
Time is done.
So anyway, we had gathered between the houses and we talked, and somehow or other the subject came up about the trail, about the lighting. And we said, he said, well, you're pleased, it's not.
I hear you rented a movie, huh?